Welcome back to the TMCJ podcast. We are now on segment 3, our wild card segment.
Wild card!
God damn.
That's my zone.
This week, there's an interesting new idea that came up. Blue was telling me about another YouTube channel he was watching where they tried to do something similar to this. And I thought it'd be a fun little thing to try on here. Basically, what?
Well, oh, sorry. Are you thinking about Your Hammer or Lawhammer? Or
no. Well, you were talking about it before. What were you talking about? Like you were talking about...
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, sorry. Cynical Brit did one.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, that might be something interesting to do here. Basically, what we're going to try to do is we're going to pick some sort of a movie, game, or book franchise, and one person's going to time it, and the other person is going to try to, within 2 minutes, describe the entire lore, or at least the most important basics for that series.
Yeah, a brief synopsis of everything that happens.
Yeah, and this is either going to end up being entertaining or just a complete disaster. So, come on the journey with us.
I think no one will properly understand what is said, but if someone knows what they're talking about, then I think they will be able to follow along.
I think this is probably going to be more entertaining for the people who do know the lore of the series that we're talking about. Because I imagine that we're going to have to use some shorthand in it to kind of...
Absolutely. And I think we should avoid things that we've both seen or played.
Okay.
Because then it's interesting for the other person because it's something they haven't heard about.
Alright, so I'm going to get a stopwatch ready.
Yep, I've got a time ready. So are we going to agree on 1 minute or 2 minutes? Or should we go midway and say 1 minute 30?
Let's start with 1 minute 30, and then if it... I think...
If it's too much or too little, gotcha.
Yeah. So, God, I don't want an alarm clock. I want a stopwatch.
Yeah, it's the same app, though.
There we go. Yeah, I just clicked on the wrong tab. Okay, do you want to open us up with Payday, since that's what you were talking about a little earlier?
I feel like Payday should be one of the last.
Okay.
I mean, maybe not. No. Fuck it, I'll go with Payday, because it's my wheelhouse. Although, that being said, it's going to be a challenge. Alright, Hal.
Yeah, you ready?
I think so.
Alright, 3...
Can you warn me when there's 20 seconds to go?
I will give you a warning at 30 seconds, 1 minute, and... 30 seconds and 1 minute.
Okay, that's good. Alright.
Okay. Ready?
Yep.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, the Payday franchise revolves around 4 heisters, or criminals, who each wear these clown masks, and they go out to different banks or stores and things, and they rob the place. They're led by one overarching leader who no one knows what the guy looks like, called Bane. Now, in the first game, they're all just robbing banks, and for one special mission, they are going to a hospital, and what they basically do is they're stealing a virus, which some client wants. They don't know who.
Left.
But in exchange for the virus, they get a book called the Book of Cagliostro. The Book of Cagliostro is about this ancient civilization and their ways, and it talks about a great power. And basically, although no one in the gang is aware of it except for Bane, they're slowly working their way towards unlocking the powers of Cagliostro, which is a giant fucking pyramid underneath the White House. And there's an Illuminati-esque enemy group trying to get the power. They try and get in different ways. They get someone to try and be the president. That doesn't quite work. And they have to bring in about 30 different heisters with different specialities. And shit. And the final mission, you break into the White House, but if you do it properly, you get into the lower levels, you enter the pyramid, you put this mine gold all around the circle, and then the Bane becomes the president in a different life, and then they go away in a boat and live happily ever after.
You're out of time. What the fuck was that crazy Illuminati shit? Okay, there's a lot more to that game than I thought.
There is so much. I cut out 90% of Payday 2. I spoke the first 30 seconds about Payday 1. I didn't even mention like someone going to prison or like, oh my god, there were so many characters, so much plot. There's the person that replaces Bane. I didn't even talk about him. That 1 minute 30 is not enough to talk about Payday 2.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. All right. For reference, if anyone's actually curious what it's about, there is a 12-episode series by a YouTuber called The Noli. It's very interesting. I suggest you check it out. If you've played the game or not, because it's very, very in-depth. It talks about, like, fucking aliens and people who lived centuries ago. A big revolving cycle of... Anyway, there's so much information.
God. Alright, well, so it's my turn next.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think... let me start off with something I'm probably going to be stronger on. I can do Halo.
Okay, yeah. Halo, because I don't know much about Halo. I've played Halo Reach, but...
Yeah.
I don't know much. It's the Flood in Halo, isn't it, right?
No, the Flood and the Covenant, and yeah.
Okay.
I'll get into it. Hopefully I
Okay.
can get through all of it.
Tell me when you're ready.
Okay. Yeah, just tell me when.
Alright. 3, 2, 1, start.
Okay, Halo is a sci-fi series set about 500 years in the future. I think it's like 2055 when the game opens up. 2550, I should say. And the government, like Earth, has colonized a bunch of different planets. So far, they haven't encountered any aliens. It's all humans out there. But the colonies are getting rebellious. There's terrorist attacks and everything. And so a secret, like, Black Ops government program decides that the best way to do or handle things is to make super soldiers.
1 minute.
But to make the super soldiers, they have to kidnap young children, like 6 years old. They make flash clones of them, and that batch of children that gets augmented becomes the first Spartan 2s. The Master Chief, the main character from Halo, is one of those guys. His actual name is John. They go out, they stop a few rebels, but before they really get moving, humanity makes first contact with the Covenant, which is a conglomeration, a religious theocracy of alien species. They attack humanity. The Spartans become instrumental in fighting them. In the first Halo game, you are running away from the Covenant when they attack Reach, the military homeworld of the UNSC, the humans, and you run across a ring that was made by an ancient race that can kill all life in the galaxy.
Okay. Are you ending it?
Is that it time?
No, 3 seconds.
Oh, well, fuck. I thought you said it ended. But
No, I said, is that it? Because you stopped talking. I was like, what?
no, there's quite a bit more. I was just trying to summarize it. I literally just got to the end of the first game.
So about 45 seconds in, and you're like, Master Chief, he's called John, by the way. And I'm like, you're really talking about John?
He's the main character for the rest of the series. Yeah, I realized, a minute and a half, God, I probably should have... I literally...
It's a lot less than you think it is, isn't it?
Well, yeah, exactly. What I described there was the plot of the first book and the first game.
Yeah, the origins.
Yeah, I got through the origins in the first game, and the first game was kind of blurted out in the last 10 seconds.
You explained how, like, the soldiers came about.
Yeah.
But then you didn't really get to why they came about.
Yeah, I didn't even get to the Flood either, which is another big part of Halo.
You called the Flood, like, a conglomerate, so as far as
No, not the Flood, the Covenant.
Oh, sorry, the Covenant. So
the
basically
Flood,
just sounds like
I never even mentioned the Flood. The Flood come much later in the first game.
It sounds like just an industry war between two people.
Well, they are. They're a conglomeration of, like, alien species and a religious theocracy.
If you make it sound like two heavily armed shopping centres going at each other. With hired private mercenaries to, like, mess up the other person's mall.
Honestly, in the early stages of the books, that's kind of what it's like, except one shopping center is significantly better equipped, and the humans get their ass kicked.
Oh
my god.
Okay, I think, right, for round 2,
yeah,
I think we have to tell the other person what it is that they have to describe the story of.
Okay.
For round 2.
All
I think we put it up to 2 minutes to make it a little bit easier.
Yeah,
but the other person decides what they have to talk.
Okay, well, in that case, I'm going to be mean. Warhammer 40k.
Well, okay, I think we also have to say it's something that the other person actually has an idea. Like, 'cause I don't know jack shit about Warhammer 40k.
Oh, okay. I thought you did. I don't know much about 40k either. I know a lot about 30k.
I know a lot of interesting little tidbits about it, but the overarching story I have very little clue about.
What about Star Wars? You got a good grasp on that?
Yeah, I can do Star Wars.
All right, you go for Star Wars then.
Okay, 2 minutes on the clock.
2 minutes on the clock, and 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, there's this character called Jar Jar Binks, and he's just the best. A boy called Anakin Skywalker is brought up on a desert planet. His mother is enslaved. He does pod racing, and he gets a bunch of money to pay off his debt to the slaver. He gets taken off-world by... what's the guy called? It's not Obi-Wan.
It's Qui-Gon
It's someone else. Qui-Gon Jinn, thank you. And he trains him up as a Jedi. Qui-Gon gets killed. Obi-Wan becomes Anakin's new master. They're fighting. They're doing really good. The clones get taken. No, the clones become a thing from Kamino. The aliens there are like, someone ordered this shipment, so we've given you a bunch of clones to fight your armies. The clones then become corrupted by the Sith when Anakin also becomes evil.
1 minute left.
Anakin turns into Darth Vader. How much time?
1 minute.
Anakin turns into Darth Vader because the Emperor Palpatine is actually evil, even though before he was just the Senate. And then the Empire is like born. The droids get thrown in the trash because they have new stormtroopers now. The rebels, which is what's left of the good guys, become like outcast in a lot of the systems. They're battling each other, and finally it ends because... how much?
30.
Okay, it ends when Luke, Anakin's son, who he had with a princess, doesn't matter, kills, or almost kills the Emperor, and does kill his father, who's Darth Vader. Darth Vader kills the Emperor. They all die, except Luke. He flies off. He's flown off. Then there's a bunch of crappy sequels who no one cares about.
All right, that's exactly 2 minutes.
Thank God.
Also, I don't think Luke kills Vader. I think
no, I couldn't remember how.
Yeah, so if I remember the ending to that last Star Wars movie, Vader and Luke fight, and then the Emperor, Luke refuses to kill Vader.
Oh, he gets electrocuted, doesn't he?
Yeah, and then Darth Vader has this daddy moment where he's like, "You ain't touching my son," and he picks up the Emperor, and the Emperor is still electrocuting, so Darth Vader becomes like a lightning rod, and then he throws the Emperor down a shaft, and I think that's what eventually kills him.
He gets shafted.
Yeah. Oh man! Thank you for perfectly summarizing the sequel trilogy too.
Yeah, there are so many things where I was like, I know what the answer to them is, but because I had to think so quickly, I just blurted out an answer.
Oh my god!
There was so much to go through.
I'll admit that probably the stuff that I know, the Star Wars I know the most lore about is the Old Republic, because I played the shit out of KOTOR 1 and 2. But that was pretty good. You hit almost exactly 2 minutes.
Okay, right. Now for your one.
Yeah.
I was thinking about being really cheeky and saying Sonic Adventure 2. But honestly, I don't think there's enough in there to fill 2 minutes. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, but I could get down in the weeds doing it. But yeah, okay. What's one of the other ones you were thinking?
Did you play WoW back in the day?
No. A bunch of people from the Hive tried to get me into it, and it just wasn't the only MMO that I ever played a significant amount of was Phantasy Star Universe.
Okay, right. I'm taking a segment of this overarching lore, that I want you to describe in 2 minutes, and that is the lore of the main campaign of Morrowind and Oblivion and Skyrim.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay, fuck. I played those games so much.
Exactly. That's why I thought it would be kind of fair.
Okay, let's see if how much of it I still remember.
All right. Are you gonna divide it up into 30 seconds each, or?
Well, it's 2 minutes I have now, right?
Oh yeah, that's true. 30, 40 seconds. Is that right?
Yeah.
40 seconds.
Skyrim's probably going to take me the least time to describe because its plot's a little bit more of a light touch.
Well, that's all about the priests.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
great
I'll
priests.
get to it. All right.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right, I'm ready. Just let me know when.
3, 2, 1. Commence.
All right. Morrowind takes place on the continent of Vanderfell, no, not on the continent. There's an island in the middle in the Morrowind region. There's this giant fantasy continent. Morrowind is a region in it, and it takes place on a small island within Morrowind, or within that region. You are just some random Yahoo who was on a prison ship, and you get out, and then you get set on a quest to go and talk to this guy who's the leader, or he's part of a faction called the Blades, which are kind of like secret police that serve the Emperor. He sets you on a quest. You go out and find some stuff. It all culminates in you getting up to a giant mountain that apparently has
Minute 20.
has doom happening, and you prevent that doom to stop Morrowind from blowing up and then become the hero of the land. Oblivion, similarly, you are also a prisoner in a jail cell, and due to an assassination attempt on the Emperor and his kids, you're now in Cyrodiil, which is the main capital area. You get let out of prison and become the chosen one. The Emperor gives you a thing and sets you off on a quest to find his bastard son, so that you can close the Oblivion gates and stop hell from literally coming to Earth. You go around, find that guy, and then fight off the demons through the Oblivion gates and close them.
40 seconds.
Then in Skyrim, you once again, I think, are a prisoner. You're on your way to getting executed, and then Godzilla flies down and blows some shit up, and you escape, and you get to choose either the faction that was about to kill you or the faction that was about to be killed with you. So if your brain isn't dead, you follow the faction that was about to be killed with you. And you go off, there's a big rebellion happening, you find out that you're the legendary Dragonborn, you can learn dragon shouts and make things go boom, and you become super powerful, fight off the Civil War, and then stop this giant elder dragon from destroying the whole world and causing an apocalypse. That's it.
And we're done.
How was I doing on time?
Again, good time. That was it.
Okay. I knew that I was going to have an easy... Ironically, I think Oblivion was the one I got through the quickest.
Yeah, it was. They spent the first 20 seconds of Morrowind just describing the continent, I think.
Yeah, well, it also set me up for the subsequent games, because they all take place in different regions on the continent.
Yeah,
so I wanted to take a second to go okay, it's a region. So Morrowind's a region, Cyrodiil's a region, Skyrim's a region.
I could really have thrown a spanner in the works if I'd said describe Elder Scrolls Online.
Oh god, I didn't play that game nearly enough. I get.
There's not really a main story.
There really isn't. The plot of it is the continent has been split up into 3 factions because WoW had factions and we want them too.
Yeah.
And I
Basically,
don't really know much
transactions.
Beyond that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What time are we looking at? Have we got time for round 3?
Honestly, I think we're doing pretty good on time.
Yeah?
I think we've got another 11 or 12 minutes at least for the segment. So let's.
Okay, round 3. Have you got any ideas for how we could switch it up?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Wildcard section.
How about for this one, we try to describe the plot of something that we've heard about but don't really know too much about.
Okay.
So just things that we basically have a vague knowledge of, but don't actually have that much first-hand knowledge from playing games, watching movies, or reading books.
I was thinking, and this is just throwing it out there.
Okay.
We describe like we have been doing, but we're only allowed to use nouns and adjectives.
What? How is that even? Well, the time limit's not going to be necessary then, because it's just going to be a 3-word description.
I think that might be slightly too difficult.
I mean, you're working in word puzzles to what's already kind of a challenge.
Yeah, your Liz Destic might kick in.
Oh yeah.
So sorry, what was your idea?
So it was just like something that we know about and kind of know a bit about, but not something that we have like too much first-hand experience with.
Okay.
So like I don't know. It essentially it'd be like me asking you to describe Halo or something like that. We've already done Halo, so not that one.
Okay. And just seeing like how much that we actually get right, because the other person knows.
Yeah, exactly. Something that I know but you don't, or that you know that I don't, and that we've kind of vaguely have a vague understanding of. I don't know. What's I'm now that I've come up with this idea, now I'm trying to actually think of something I could do.
Yeah. I'm looking down through like my list of games right now, and there's so many games that just don't have stories.
Well, it doesn't have to be a game. It could be like movies or TV shows or something like that we've just heard of.
Kaiser, talk about the intense lore behind Polybridge.
You know what? Here, why don't you have you played The Witcher at all?
I played it for about an hour, and it was so confusing and so much text that I just wanted to stab myself.
All right, that's gonna be yours then.
I have watched the TV series.
Okay, but I'm specifically gonna ask you to talk about the game series.
Okay.
Just from what you've heard third or second hand, I'll see after, and I think after you finish, I'll go through and point out anything that you got right or was more egregiously wrong.
Gotcha.
What were you gonna say?
I was thinking XCOM.
I don't know the plot to that at all.
You've played the game though, haven't you?
Yeah, but I barely understood what was going on.
Okay.
That was just a game that I played casually on my couch, like while I was listening to a podcast. I wasn't really paying too close attention to it.
Yeah. It's alright, well, we're talking about Witcher. I haven't even played The Witcher. You've played XCOM.
Well, when it comes to my turn, you could pick something like that for me. Although, I'd appreciate it if you didn't, because I have no idea what the plot actually was.
Well, you're gonna love my description of The Witcher then.
Oh my god, okay. Are you ready?
Okay. It's gonna be a synopsis of what I think The Witcher is, as opposed to what The Witcher is.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of what I imagine this version going as. Alright.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I guess so.
Alright.
Wait, how long are we doing it for?
We'll keep 2 minutes on the clock. I think it makes sense.
Okay. God, I think that might be a bit too long, but okay, we're good.
We can go back down to a minute and a half.
No. Let's go 2 minutes and see where it goes.
Okay, alright. It's all experimental, this segment. Alright. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so the story of The Witcher revolves around a character called Geralt of Rivia, who I'm going to shorten to Jerry for the rest of this description. So Jerry is probably an orphan, and he got picked up probably from some tragic circumstances. I'm assuming his family and like village got destroyed or burnt or taken over by witches, and he's a special child, and he gets like some powers put into him, and then he gets trained up by these people called the Witchers. I think all the witches die. Maybe they're the people who got burnt in the village, who knows. And the witches have special powers, and they go around beating up monsters, and they're very smart, and they have certain resiliences and special eyes. So, as in special space eyes, not special eyes. They have all these like potions they put on the weapons and stuff. They go around murdering beasts to like help people out in villages and things. Jerry doesn't have much. I think he has like no emotion or something, but he still sleeps with every woman he comes across. He has a very serious attitude. His thing is like his theme is wolf related in some way. He tries to save people, but at the end of the day, he's a mercenary. He's out there to get money. and everyone hates him because he's different to them. He's got a horse that's cool, and he's named it, and I can't remember what the name of the horse is.
30 seconds.
He works his way up to fighting dragons and stuff, I guess. But then he fights a lot of like undead and like big frogs that are attacking old ladies in villages. He does the whole thing. He also does this gambling game, card game, which I can't remember the name of it, but they had their own game for that. And that's it. I can't think of anything
You've got
else.
5 seconds left on the clock, but we can stop it there. You got a remarkable amount right.
Really?
So he was an orphan of some variety, but it wasn't like a tragic backstory. He was literally just bought by these people who were creating witchers.
That sounds pretty tragic.
Yeah.
Bought.
Well, exactly. He was bought. They do all these genetic augmentations to him and mess with their body structure and give them slight magical powers with the intent of creating monster hunters called witchers.
I totally forgot to talk about the fact that there's magic in the world.
Yeah, the whole wolf thing is because he was trained by the wolf school, but there was also like the cat school and the bear school.
Just a bunch of fucking furries.
Yeah, essentially. And it's not that he has no emotions, it's that but that's the rumor about witchers, is that they are emotionless. When in fact they're fairly normal. They're just very highly trained monster hunters. But yeah, like a lot of that you actually got right. The card game is called Gwent, by the way.
What's the horse called?
Roach.
Roach.
And it's not necessarily the same Roach. He always he names every horse he gets Roach. Even so he actually has a couple different horses throughout the course of the series, both the books and the games. And he just, whenever he gets a new one, he names it Roach.
Yeah. I should have just started singing Toss a Coin to Your Witcher.
Toss a coin to your witcher. All right.
Oh, okay. Right, yes.
But yeah, that you did surprisingly good. But there were a lot of. I like he has no emotions, but he also sleeps with every woman he comes across. It's just like, yep.
Yeah. Okay, your story. You're going to be discussing. Oof. You know too much about Lord of the Rings, so I'm not going to say that. There's a lot of great games that just have no story behind them. I was like, is there a story behind Factorio?
I mean, not real. Technically, I think there is a campaign mode. I've just never played it.
I think that's just a tutorial, basically.
I think it's more a glorified tutorial.
Ooh.
Oh? Sounds like you thought
a game
something.
that you have very briefly played and not really gone anything into.
Yeah.
But it does have a story. I don't know if because I feel like you'll just do the first 5 minutes of the game and then skip to the end because you don't know any of the story. I was going to say Cuphead.
Well, I have a vague idea what the plot actually is, but
is it enough to fill that? Because I feel like
I don't think it's enough to fill that time. Like I'm thinking I could probably describe the plot in about 40 seconds.
Okay. Ooh. I just saw Rome Total War and I was like,
I mean,
maybe.
It doesn't
I just
necessarily...
say you have to explain the entire history of Rome, or rather the Holy Roman Empire, in 2 minutes.
Wait, the Holy Roman Empire? That's different. Okay. Wait, the Roman Empire or the Holy Roman Empire?
Both.
I can't do both. It's like 1,500 years of history. That actually sounds fun, 'cause it doesn't necessarily have to be a movie, book, or TV show. It could be an actual historical thing. I do have.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the Roman Empire.
The Roman Empire. Okay, I think I can do this.
Okay.
All right. Screw it. So 2 minutes on the clock. This is gonna be really tight.
Yep.
Okay.
That's what they say about Rome. It's tight.
Oh my God. All right, tell me when I'm starting.
3, 2, 1, activate.
Okay, Rome started off when two brothers, Romulus and Remus, tried to found the city on two different hills. They both saw different signs, they got into a fight, they murdered each other, and then the one that was still alive founded Rome on that hill. That became part of Rome's founding myth. They slowly conquered all of the surrounding territories around them, the little city-states, and assimilated them into Rome. Eventually, they controlled the entire Italian continent and began to expand after the wars against Carthage, the other big empire in the Mediterranean at the time, which was situated in Africa. They then expanded into Africa. They had essentially enclaves and colonies all throughout Europe and all throughout the Middle East and all throughout North Africa. They stayed as a republic like that for quite a while. There was actually a big war where they took over Greece. They then were starting to have problems because they had a huge slave workforce and didn't have enough jobs for the poor working class, which were flooding into Rome, and it became increasingly ruled by rich landowners, at which point cue Julius Caesar, who pops in and through a series of propaganda and military victories and fights with other people in the Senate, he he's like, fuck it, I'm taking over. He goes back, marches on Rome, sets himself up as a dictator for life, and starts to make reforms and changes. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out. He gets murdered by a bunch of conspiracy people. Unfortunately, it doesn't restore the Republic like they thought. Caesar's adopted son actually takes over. That's Augustus Caesar, Octavian Augustus Caesar, who then becomes the first Roman emperor. The Roman Empire then has a series of prosperity, and then there are several emperors, but eventually it starts to break down again because the Roman empires keep getting assassinated, and then the army just selects a new general to be in power. At one point, there's actually 4 emperors of Rome for each region. And then the Roman Empire collapses when they started using auxiliary troops, and the Western Roman Empire fell, and it goes back to Byzantium. The Eastern Roman Empire lasted for a little bit.
God, that was a struggle, wasn't it?
It really was. I had to really compress the ending. There's so much that happens with the emperors getting assassinated and replaced, in the interim time, between Augustus and the collapse of the Western Roman Empire.
Yeah, I like at the beginning you're like, Romulus and Remus, they murdered each other. I was like, wait, what? But didn't one survive? And then you're like, and then the one that survived. Oh, wait, okay, so they didn't murder each other.
No, they tried. I meant to say they tried to murder each other. Only one of them succeeded.
That was good, though. Holy shit. Good job.
I do know quite a bit about Roman history.
Yeah, it was fast as well. There wasn't much pausing to think.
Yeah.
It was succinct. Oof, crikey, that was quite something for Section 3, huh?
Yeah, that was actually, I had a lot of fun with this.
That was a lot of fun.
This was a fun little game. Hopefully, everyone listening at home, you guys had fun listening along, and maybe you
and it's something we could repeat.
Yeah, because there's so much more out there.
Yeah, so many games.
I mean, even at the end there, we explored the idea of doing a bit of history.
Yeah.
That could be something fun to do too, is expand it out beyond that and talk about history. Because I think both of us have a decent interest in history.
Yeah, I don't know much about history, it's got to be said, but I do enjoy listening to history, for sure.
Yeah, it's quite a few podcasts and YouTube videos and documentaries fill my free time.
Indeed.
Anyway, I think we're actually coming up right on the end here. Any final thoughts about this segment in general? I think we both are in consensus that this is a potentially a winner that might come back for a repeat segment at some point.
Things I've been thinking about this week. I was gonna do it for today, but in the end, I literally I didn't have time. I'm going to hopefully by next week downloaded and listened to the dinosaur audiobook.
Oh my god!
We discussed for so long.
A promise that we've had for so long on the podcast that there would be.
I think I'm actually going to crack down and do it. I've got a little bit of time now. It's the new year.
Okay. I can't wait.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's it. Hopefully everyone enjoyed this last segment. It was, as usual, segment 3 wacky as heck.
Yeah, again, yeah. Hopefully, y'all had just as much fun listening to it as we had doing it, because I know this was entertaining for me.
And I hope everyone's had a great start to the year.
Yeah, we said
it's
the weather.
Actually New Year for us now.
Yeah, the weather's a bit gloomy today, but overall, I mean, hopefully things are going good for people. Anyway,
so, yes.
Yeah. Is that it? Anything else?
Yep.
Okay.
Nope.
Well, then that is the end of episode 23 of the TMCJ podcast. Thank you all for listening if you have for this long, and hopefully you'll tune in again next week.
Have a wonderful January.